Here we are, and here we will be reviewing the Champions Trophy 2025. This week of the Champions Trophy 2025, at least. So what happened in the Champions Trophy 2025? Let's look at it. So, the first match that was played this week was, I believe it was Bangladesh versus New Zealand. We did have a couple of washouts this week, actually. The first one, there were a couple of washouts, and both teams, and they don't really matter in the whole scheme of things. I mean, they did kind of matter for deciding the end, but we all knew that these teams were going to qualify. But first, let's talk about Bangladesh versus New Zealand. So Bangladesh versus New Zealand. What happened there? New Zealand won by 5 wickets, very obviously. I mean, it's Bangladesh, obviously. New Zealand is winning. So Bangladesh, they don't really have a team. I saw a quote by someone. They've been supporting Bangladesh for what was it, 21 years? Supporting Bangladesh since I was 10 years old, and now at 31, I can't help but feel disappointed by the lack of significant improvement. Many teams like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and the West Indies have had their ups and downs, but they've still won trophies. Bangladesh, on the other hand, has never reached this peak, even for a short period. Despite having a relatively strong cricket infrastructure and more resources than other nations, the team's progress has remained stagnant. That's a thing that's really weird about Bangladesh. They've never actually improved in cricket. I think teams like the Netherlands have improved a lot more than they were a long time ago. USA also, they had that Pakistan defeat. That was a really good one. That was in a World Cup as well. I don't think Bangladesh has ever had a huge upset in the World Cup other than England. They haven't beaten teams like Australia, India, Pakistan. Did they beat Pakistan? They might have beaten Pakistan in 2023, but I'm not sure. So yeah, there wasn't really a good. There's never really been a perfect place for Bangladesh to play. So let's talk about Bangladesh versus New Zealand. So they started off pretty bad. They lost their first wicket at 45. Not super bad, but still not the best use of the power play. They're going at around 5 runs and over. In Rawalpindi, that's not great. But this pitch seemed a lot more less flat than the other ones. It seemed a lot more fit for bowlers. So Bracewell got the first wicket. Bracewell did insanely well this match, 4 for 26 in his 10 overs. Bracewell's a part-timer, by the way. I don't get how New Zealand produces these part-timers who are also taking wickets and are probably better than they are at batting. Other than that, Najmul Hussain Shanto stepped up as the captain, scored 77 off 110, and Jake Arali, as I said, he's a pretty good batter. He's a pretty good wicket keeper as well. 45 off 55. He got run out. He probably should have gotten his 50. He tried to steal a bye. Fair enough. It's a valiant run up. Bangladesh crumbled for 236 for 9. I don't even know how they ended up that far. New Zealand kept bowling wides, honestly. Wides were like the fifth highest run score. Wow, yeah. And their seniors did not step up at all. Other than Najmul Hussain Shanto, their seniors did not step up. Mehdi Hassan Miraz did not do anything. I thought that Mehdi Hassan Miraz would actually do something this Champions Trophy, but he did not do anything, in fact. Matt Henry took 1 for 57. Kyle Jamieson 1 for 48. Michael Bracewell. Bangladesh's strength, though, was like always in their bowling attack. So let's see what they did on the bowling side. They did get New Zealand down for 15 for 2, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Kane Williamson fell his 15 for 2. Will Young was bowled, maiden wicket first over Tuscan Ahmed. I predicted him to do well. Wicket maiden. Will Young got out. And then Conway, he tried to play well. He did play quite well, but he slowed down a lot. It was like a really slow knock. But it is justified for the situation. Honestly, 15 for 2. He did play a special knock. Rachin Ravindra came in at 15 for 2, ended up scoring 100 and winning the game for New Zealand. Tom Latham did come in and finally scored another 50. Tom Latham scored a century and a 50. That is surprising. Actually, his form has been pretty solid since the Champions Trophy started. And this is the first time I'm actually seeing him score a lot more. 55 of 76, still a pretty slow knock, but good enough in this case because they were only chasing like 237, right? And Bangladesh, they weren't taking wickets quick enough. So as long as Rachin Ravindra was accelerating on the other side, Tom Latham was fine defending on the other side. But he was eventually run out by Mahmudullah. It was a very good run out as well. Very good piece of fielding. Direct hit by Mahmudullah. And Glenn Phillips and Michael Bracewell took the match for New Zealand. Nothing really on the bowling side, as I said. 1 for 28 for Tuscan Ahmed. He played really well that match. Nahid Rana 1 for 43. He's pretty young, so I think it is fair to say that he'll be a pretty good Bangladeshi bowler in the future. Mustafa Zir performing as always, and Rashad Hussain. I think he's a really good Bangladeshi bowler. I think he's one for the future. He's only played a couple of ODIs now, and he's definitely proven himself. He's just a little bit more on the expensive side, but that's what usually happens for leg spinners, so I don't really care about that. But he is a pretty good cricketer anyway. So New Zealand won the first match by 5 wickets this week, and there was also, after that, Australia and South Africa were supposed to play, the two best teams in the Group B, and that was abandoned. Afghanistan versus England. It's not a set if it happens more than once, man. Afghanistan is a really good cricket team right now. It wasn't really a nail biter. Most people are saying it is a nail biter. I mean, it was Adil Rashid versus ODI Cricketer of the Year last year, so I don't think it was very much a nail biter until I think it was a nail biter, but only like until England were like 6 down. Once they're 6 down, there's no way that they're chasing that. Once Joe Root left, there's 7 down. Once Joe Root left, there was no way that they were chasing that. So England honestly got off to a good start with the ball. Jofra Archer removed Ramanullah Gurbaz in 4 overs pretty easily. Gurbaz is a pretty good player. He's a very significant part of Afghanistan's batting lineup. So I do recommend so taking his wicket early is essential. Ramanullah Gurbaz's wicket early is essential. And that was also Archer's 50th ODI wicket. Archer, for the amount of years he has been playing, he has not played enough ODI cricket. 50th ODI wicket. He debuted in like 2016, right? Archer, he's just fast. He's not good anymore. 2019, he debuted in 2019. 6 years. 50 ODI wickets. Are you serious? I'm pretty sure he hasn't played a lot of ODIs. He's played 31 ODIs, 54 wickets. Not a great amount, but still, it's not good. So he removed Ramanullah Gurbaz, and then Sadiq Atal also went. Sadiq Allah Atal. I don't even know who that is. Honestly, I've heard of Sadiq Allah Atal. I think he is a good player, but he hasn't played enough ODIs for me to like actually judge him. That was his ODI debut, by the way. Oh, sorry, no, it wasn't. That was his 8th ODI only. So, or 8th ODI innings only. So, I wouldn't judge him too early. Ramat Shah, he also got out early. And Archer removed 3 for, 37? They were 3 for 37 when, their number 5 came in, who was Hashmatullah Shahidi. Shahidi, 59.7 strike rate. Shahidi's not a very good batter. I don't know what it is with Afghanistan and choosing really slow ODI batters as their captains, but I don't really want Hashmatullah Shahidi as a captain. I'm gonna be honest, but he did try and play well. He tried his best. He got out to Adil Rashid. There was a peach of delivery. Shahidi, he kind of just misjudged the length and tries to go for a reverse sweep, and he got bowled by Rashid. I don't think it was a particularly good delivery as much as it was Hashmatullah Shahidi's mistake. So, I'm not really going to consider it. But he should have played at least a little faster, even though they were at 3 for 37. Ibrahim Zadran was there on the other end, though. As the opener, 177 off of 146. It's not even that terrible of a knock. Ben Duckett played 165 off of 130. The match before this, when England were playing. God damn, dude, why he just broke it the second Afghanistan realizes that England set a record. They're just Bang! Just destroyed him. 177 off 146. That is the highest score in Champions Trophy history. And obviously it happens in Pakistan. Azbatullah Omarzai also played a handy knock, 41 off 31. And Mohammad Nabi also played another handy knock, 40 off 24. They both played pretty good knocks, pretty good cameos, so that Ibrahim Zadran could absolutely just destroy the other end. 12 fours and 6 sixes. England's batting innings, they were chasing 326. Off to a bad start. They were 3 for 98 when Ben Duckett fell. Joe Root came in at number 4. I don't know why Jamie Smith is playing at number 3, by the way. I think that's really stupid of them. He's not a number 3 player. Jamie Smith is not a number 3 player. Then Ben Duckett didn't play well. He scored 38 off 45. It's not terrible, but I would expect him to use this power play and this pitch a lot better than what he did here. Harry Brook, he scored 25 off 21. Joe Root was the main star of this, though. 120 off 111. He almost pulled it off. I think this is like one of Joe Root's finest innings. He's not really an ODI cricketer, but he definitely played really well this innings. What else? Omarzai did play really well as well. Omarzai took 5 for 58. Sorry. That's a special bowling performance by Omarzai. I didn't think that it was very close until like maybe the 40. I thought it was like close until the 45th over of England's innings. You know, they lost Joe Root in the 46th, right? There's no way that they're winning it from there. They only have they had Josh Butler. No, they didn't have Josh Butler at the crease. Josh Butler was also like playing. He was struggling. He only had to run with Joe Root, and he was still struggling. Livingston didn't play well. Overton tried to play well, but he couldn't do anything. And then there's no way that you're getting past. Once you're down to like Livingston, you're basically won the game. Let's be honest. Jamie Overton, you know, he's just coming in. He's 30 years old. He's only played 5 ODIs. So you never know. With this English, it's not even this particularly good English side. But Afghanistan, they definitely did something special here. I think Afghanistan will not be taken lightly again. That's exactly what Jonathan Trott said. They shouldn't be taken lightly. They're a very, very good team. And this also brought up their chances to qualify for the semifinals after being destroyed by South Africa. But Afghanistan did play well. That is a valiant effort from Afghanistan. So Afghanistan beat England, and then Pakistan versus Bangladesh was watched out, which means both of those teams get 1 point. Let's celebrate for Pakistan and Bangladesh, guys. Let's get a round of applause for that team. 1-1. 1 point each. Can we get another round of applause? That was an absolute shit show from both of them. Bangladesh, you know, they're always bad. Pakistan, I expected them to do better. This is their home ground. They should have done much better. They only won 1 match. No, they didn't even win a single match in Pakistan. They hosted the Champions Trophy to not win a single match. What the hell, dude? That sucks. I thought that I'm just not even gonna lie. I thought that they do extremely well. They're a pretty good team. Let's be honest. Pakistan, they just won an ODI series. They're coming off of 2 ODI series wins, and yet they don't go into the final or semifinal even. I thought that they were going to qualify. You saw my prediction video. If you didn't, there's no point in watching it. But I thought that they would. I thought that they would qualify for semifinals, honestly, but they didn't, which is very surprising to me. I thought that they would at least give a tough fight. They didn't even do that. They didn't win a single game. I think it was with Babar opening. I did talk about this in my India versus Pakistan video, so go watch that if you want to know more about this, why this Pakistan team was so shit. Afghanistan versus Australia. What is going on here, man? So this match also got rained out. Travis Head, though, he made me believe that he was out of form. I'm not even gonna lie, for a second there. 59 off 40, just smashed the hell out of the Afghan bowlers, and now I'm scared for my life in the semifinals. Afghanistan, they tried to play well. Definitely a good innings from both Sadiqullah Atal. I don't know how to pronounce that. And Azmatullah Omarzai. 67 off 63 for Azmatullah. 85 off of 95 for Atal. It was a pretty good innings. It wasn't like anything special. This is a pretty flat pitch, so you do expect them to do better. But it's fine. I think 273 against this Australian bowling. I think against this is pretty defendable for this Afghanistan team. But god damn, Travis Head just went insane. It wasn't a deal. Like there wasn't enough time for a DLS method, so Australia could not win. But it was a no result. Both teams got 1 point, and that also decreased Afghanistan's chances to qualify for the semifinals. I think they could have pulled it back, honestly. But let's be honest, there's no way that they're pulling that back. So then it went down to England to win by like, what was it? I think it was 200. I think it was 100 something runs, 150 something runs to win for Afghanistan to qualify, and England didn't even score once, and England didn't even score 200 runs. They scored 180 runs, 179 runs, left a target of 180 for South Africa to chase. Obviously, South Africa could have gone for like 15, and they would have been fine, but you know. So this Jamie Smith at number 3 thing. Jamie Smith isn't even a white ball player, let alone a number 3 player in the ODI format. You can't put Jamie Smith in the ODI format, dude. I think his list A stats say that for himself. So let's not talk about Jamie Smith in the ODI format ever again, please. Joe Root should have played there. England didn't even do anything that innings. It's not even worth talking about. Marco Jensen 3 for 39. Leon Mulder 3 for 25. I think Leon Mulder is pretty underrated, if I'm gonna be honest. He didn't take big wickets, but he did take the wicket of Joe Root, which is very, very, very important for South Africa winning this match. Leon Mulder played. He had a pretty good test season as well. I think he played well versus Bangladesh. I think Leon Mulder is just a pretty good player, honestly, overall. He's also a solid all-rounder. He's a solid batter, sorry. Marco Jensen, he's also pretty underrated, if I'm going to be honest. Got the top 3 wickets. That's probably the hardest ones to get. Duckett chipped it straight to Jensen. I think Jensen's also a really good fielder, so Jensen's one to watch for the future. And so is Mulder, actually. Mulder is only like 29, I believe. 27. So, Mulder is one for the future. Anything else? Keshav Maharaj played well, 2 for 35. Nothing else. And then, England looked like they had the chance to win for a second when they got Stubbs opening for 11. There was an 11 non-opening stand. Then Rickleton fell 36 runs later. And then, it was just a really bad game for them. Let's be honest. Heinrich Klaassen and Rossi van der Dussen just cooked them. Rossi is a very good ODI player, honestly. He's the ideal ODI player in my opinion. Heinrich Klaassen, he's in really good form, so yeah. Then David Miller finished off with like a 6 or something. I don't even know, dude. I don't care enough about this match. It was a pretty obvious decision on who's winning. So, let's cut that out of our brains. Let's talk about India versus New Zealand. This was a good match. First of all, the Indian top order did not play well. That's really annoying for India, definitely. Their top order just played well. They just did well. Rohit was doing well versus England. Shuman Gill was doing well in versus England and versus Bangladesh. Virat Kohli did well versus Pakistan, and then they all shit the bed at the same time. So whenever you expect this team to carry, they don't, which is good. I think this is a good scenario, if I'm being honest. Shreyas Iyer 79 off 98. Akshar Patel 42 off 61. Not the best. Could have played a little faster. I mean, especially in this format. And at this day and age, you should be able to play a little faster in ODI cricket specifically. I think nowadays a par strike rate should be around 90, and at number 5, maybe around 95 ish. Um, that should be your par strike rate, not anything below 70. Not anything below 75. No, not anything below 85. I think that's supposed to be your par. If your strike rate is below 85 in this era, you're not a good ODI player. Because nowadays strike rate does indeed matter. Just to compare yourself with this generation, you need to play quicker. You need to score quicker. You need to there's flatter pitches. There's power plays now. You need to lock in and score fast. I personally love the 250 to 260 scores ish. That's why ODI was my favorite format, because the 270 scores ish, they look like an easy total to chase, but it isn't. It's pretty tricky to chase a 270 total of 270. That's why ODI cricket was my favorite format. But I think matches like these, they definitely do prove that current ODI cricket is still alive. But you still have to play faster. It is still the current age. You can't just not play at the current speed that they are right now. I mean, I guess it was a tougher pitch, so maybe a strike rate of 85 is good enough. So yeah, I think that it was a little bit of a slow knock, but they did set up the position well. And there was an aggressor on the other side, being Shreyas Iyer, who was playing with a strike rate of 80. So I think it is completely fine. Other than that, Hardik Pandya, 45 of 45, just a fantastic player overall. Which really sucks. I wish he just smacked Henry. It was so embarrassing for him in the last over. He could not smack Henry. And it was so embarrassing. But it doesn't matter. Jadeja, nothing. Shami, nothing. So it doesn't really matter. This match was not... It wasn't really... Both of these teams already qualified, so this match was not pretty important. But it did decide who would face Australia in the semifinals. So 249 for 9. That's what India ended on. New Zealand, their bowlers were pretty good. Matt Henry, 5 for 42. He was bowling fantastically. I think Matt Henry's just a fantastic bowler overall. I think he's really underrated. He gets overshadowed by Tim Southey and Trent Bolt, but now he's definitely proven himself, especially against India. Kyle Jamieson came back, took 1 for 31. They're not terrible. Willow Rook, 1 for 47. It was a pretty average day in the field for New Zealand. They were really good fielding. They have a really good fielding side. There's nothing much you can really do about this. So 249. I think it's not a par score, but it is defendable. Definitely 250 is definitely defendable. Let's see how New Zealand's innings played out. So they got off to a fine start. I'm gonna be honest. They were going at 4 runs and over, not terrible. Then Rachin Ravindra fell. Then Will Young fell. 49 for 2. So Daryl Mitchell and Kane Williamson come to stabilize the time. Okay, let's talk about this partnership for a second. They were playing so slow. I mean, I get it's a tough pitch. It is a pretty tough pitch. I'm not gonna complain about that. I think this was a tough pitch to bat on. So I'm not gonna majorly complain about that. I'm still gonna talk about it. It was a tough pitch, but super slow. I think what really lost them to this match was that, 1, wickets were collapsing at the other end, and 2, Kane Williamson was not taking the pressure like a senior should be taking the pressure. He should be scoring boundaries faster, which is what India missed out on in the final versus Australia in 2023. They should be hitting boundaries at good enough rates to score runs. They should not be waiting and taking singles. Sure, take singles, but convert those singles into doubles, convert those doubles into triples, convert those triples into quadruples. They should be running at least... I think a prime example of this. Mitchell Santner and Kane Williamson were running between the wickets. Kane hits the ball pretty hard. It goes past the fielder, was almost going to go for 4, and the fielder stops it. I can't remember who the fielder was, but they've only taken 1 run. Why? 2 was available. You have to be able to run faster. You need to be able to score runs faster. That is the point. That is how the game has evolved, and that is how you should be able to play the game. When you can't adapt in cricket, when you can't adapt to the times, then you're not a good player. You have to be able to adapt. Daryl Mitchell, 17 off 35. What the hell, dude? If you at least aggress towards the end, like if you were playing aggressively, I think Kane Williamson, he started playing aggressively towards the end. I think that was the main good part of his knock. That was the positive of his knock. Yeah, sure, he was at 62 off 100 at some point, but he did end up scoring 19 off 20 later on and was planning on aggressing. And he did step out versus Akshar Patel, and that's how he got out. Tom Latham at the other end, lost a wicket. Glad Phillips at the other end, gone. Varun Chakravarti, just destroyed these guys. Varun Chakravarti was insane, dude. 5 for, 42? This is his first time taking a 5 for India and winning the game. I love Varun Chakravarti. I'm not even gonna lie. He was made a scapegoat for no reason. So I think that Varun Chakravarti, he should be playing the semifinal. If the pitch is still like the same pitch that it is right now. If it's like flatter or if it's more for pacers, bring back Harshit Rana. But I think Varun Chakravarti for now should be playing here. As I said, you should be able to play faster for the time. I think if you're an all-rounder like Akshar Patel, it's excusable. But if you're a pure batter like Kane Williamson is, I think the positive about this knock was that Kane Williamson was planning on aggressing. That's why he stepped out. But you have to also be sensible with it. There's a very, very, very thin line between being sensible with it and playing aggressively and accelerating. Accelerating specifically. I don't care if you're playing 50-50 off 75 and 1, and then you end up scoring 100 off of the 90 balls. That could definitely happen. I don't maybe the team wasn't stable before, so that's why you're playing really slow, and then you end up aggressing further. That doesn't matter. He was planning on aggressing further, but I don't blame him completely for this loss, obviously, but I think he could have played a little faster and taken on the pressure as a senior should be doing. That's it. Seniors didn't really take on the pressure that he was supposed to. And that's why New Zealand lost this match. So that leaves India in the semifinals versus Australia. I would have opted to lose this, if I'm going to be honest. I would have loved to lose this game. Just to not face Australia in the semifinals. But we are, so that sucks. Australia will be facing India in the semifinals. Okay, so who's going to win the semifinal? It's happening Tuesday. Oh, God, I won't be watching this then. Australia versus India. Who's going to be winning the semifinal? Let's talk about it. Win predictor says... What does win predictor say? Win predictor says India 63%, Australia 37%. That was the same win prediction ratio for 2023, by the way. It's similar, not same. Can we go back? Where's the tab? Yeah. Okay. So Australia, it is happening in Dubai. So hopefully, Australia will choose to bat first. And if they choose to bowl first, we're cooked. Essentially, this bowling attack isn't really that good. I'm going to be honest. They have one spinner, and then they have Spencer Johnson. That's really all this bowling attack consists of. There is Ben Dorcius, I guess. He is pretty good. And yeah, that's it. Other than that, let's watch the... I think you should be watching out for these guys. Josh Inglis, definitely watch out for him. Steve Smith, maybe watch out for him. 80 strike rate, not the best. I think Jadeja is pretty good against him. Actually, no. Jadeja? Yeah, I think Jadeja's pretty good against him. I think... No, is it 50? Is it Root or Smith who averages 50 against Jadeja? I can't remember. But, anyway, Smith is fine. We can face Smith. Last time these two faced off was the ODI World Cup in 2023. 19 November 2023. 6 wickets. Australia won. Akshar Patel, he took 12. He's taken 12 wickets in his past 10 matches. Watch out for him. Kuldeep Yadav has been pretty good. Also, watch out for Varun Chakravarti. He is pretty good. I don't know if he'll be playing, but if he does, watch out for him. Shreyas Iyer, he's definitely learning how to control his game now. I think the most positive part for India in this entire campaign has been their control over their game. I think Varun Chakravarti showed a lot of control, not spinning the ball too much, not overdoing it. I think that's really hard, especially playing your first ODI Champions Trophy match, especially playing your second ODI. That's really hard. Shuman Gill's shown a lot of control. He's usually an aggressive player, but he has shown a lot of control over the past few matches. Shreyas Iyer also shown a lot of control, as seen versus New Zealand today. So India's main positive is their control over what they're doing right now. So I think, honestly, I think India's going to win. This Australia team isn't even that good, in my opinion. But, obviously, Australia, they could definitely prove me wrong. I wouldn't underestimate them. I think there's definitely a chance for Australia to win, but I think India's just too good for them. I know I'm going to eat my words when Australia wins this, dude. New Zealand versus South Africa. Two chokers. I don't know who's winning, I'm going to be honest. Both of these teams seem equally rivaled. Kane Williamson is in solid enough form. Tom Latham is in good form. Rachin Ravindra is in really good form. Matt Henry's in really good form. Most of their players are in pretty good form, and so is South Africa. I think barring Markram, everyone's in form for South Africa. There's Ryan Rickelton. I would definitely watch Ryan Rickelton. I'll watch Heinrich Klaassen. 120. Look at his stats the past 5 matches. 415 runs, 83 average, 127.3 strike rate. And I think that's all without 100. Will Young has been playing well. Kane Williamson's been playing well in his past few matches. Marco Jensen's also been playing well. So has Rabada. Head to head, it's 3-2, just like Australia versus New Zealand, or Australia versus India. 3-2, New Zealand. Last time they faced off, New Zealand won, but this was last month. South Africa won in 2023. So I don't know who's going to win this one. These two are pretty equally matched teams, if I'm going to be honest. So who's going to qualify for the final? I think it's going to be India and South Africa. Again, I think India and South Africa, 2024 and 2025, or 2024 and 2025, just to lose it. South Africa's just qualifying to lose it. I think India's transition has been really good, unlike other teams' transitions who have not been as good as they are, as good as India's is. So I think India's doing really well right now. Definitely have some confidence coming into the semifinals. And maybe, just maybe, Rohit Sharma might finally win the toss. And that's where we'll end it. See you next week. Bye.